North Harbor Drive declared extreme sport zone as tourist season kicks off in Fort Bragg. My North Harbor Drive survival log, June 13, 2026. The sun was out, the coast was warm, and I made the mistake of thinking I could just head down North Harbor Drive like a normal person. Everything looked fine at first, calm, quiet, deceptive. Then I saw them. 5 bicyclists, not motorized, not hurried, not concerned about the laws of gravity or the existence of cars. Just 5 brave souls pedaling up that hill like they were reenacting a National Geographic special on human endurance. There's no shoulder, there's no pullouts, no room to pass, and absolutely no place for them to bail out when they realize what they've done. Honestly, we need a sign down there. If you ride down this hill, you will have to ride back up. Good luck. At the bottom, the usual summer chaos was already brewing. 4 or 5 cars were trying to park, turn, sightsee, or possibly perform synchronized confusion. Noyo Fish Company was packed, which is great as long as you're not the fool trying to get lunch at 1 p.m. on a Saturday. After seeing Noyo Fish Company packed wall to wall, I glanced over at Princess Deli. It seemed busy, but honestly I couldn't see a thing past the wall of parked cars stacked in front of it, like a used car lot with no sales strategy. For all I know, the place was either hopping or completely empty. It's impossible to tell when every vehicle in Mendocino County decides to park at a 37-degree angle and block the entire view. All I could do was shrug and keep rolling, hoping the next stretch of road would make more sense than this one. Pedestrians were everywhere, drifting around with their backs to traffic like they were on Main Street at Disneyland. Some walked straight into the lane, confident that cars would stop because that's what cars do. Others wandered around like they were waiting for a parade that never came. Casa del Sol looked calm, but CPAL was slammed. A long line, full parking, and a few bikers weaving around the harbor like they were testing the limits of my patience. One guy rode the center line like he owned it. Another pedestrian stepped out in front of traffic with the classic coastal technique: head down, don't look, trust the universe. Parking for Princess Seafood stretched all the way back towards the trailer park. Great for business, terrible for driving. The parking under the bridge was packed, and looking out towards the jetty reminded me of all the times I've tried fishing out there. I've never caught a single fish off that jetty. Not one. I don't think I've ever even seen anyone catch a fish, except for years ago, one kid who hauled up what I think was a flounder. He was so excited he tried to cast again and ended up with a hook straight through his thumb. That was the only confirmed catch I've witnessed. I have caught Dungeness crabs down there, so something's alive in that water. But I'll have to try again before I believe there are actually fish swimming around that jetty. Eventually, I turned around and started the slow crawl back up. And of course, as always, the lead car was in absolutely no hurry. We crept past Princess Seafood again, dodging pedestrians who still believed they were in Disneyland. Then I had to squeeze around a parked car with its hind end sticking halfway into the lane, positioned with the precision of someone who parked using sonar. The Wharf Restaurant had just paved their oversized vehicle lot. Maybe that'll help. Maybe it won't. Oversized trucks, RVs, and boat trailers seem to have a spiritual calling to wedge themselves into the tightest spaces in the harbor. Honestly, park them up top and run a tram, a cheerful little shuttle to bring people down the hill. It would save lives, mostly mine. And then came the door openers. A car stopped, flung its door into traffic, and just left it there, wide open. No movement, no urgency, just open. I waited, and waited, and waited. Finally, oncoming traffic stopped long enough for me to slip by. And that's when the passengers decided to jump out. Perfect timing. At least there were no bicycles pedaling up the hill this time. Small mercies. By the time I made it back to Franklin Street, I felt like I'd completed an extreme sport obstacle course. Heading toward the town, I braced myself for whatever fresh adventure was waiting. Am I intolerant? Absolutely. But I keep the sound off on my camera, I keep the window up, and keep my wrath to myself. Because the truth is, without the crowds, this town and this harbor would be hurting. The chaos drives me nuts, but the chaos keeps the lights on. Tourist season is here, and I survived another round. And that's it for today's episode of How Not to Lose Your Mind in Tourist Season. Huge thanks to all my subscribers. You keep this channel rolling even when the traffic isn't. If you're new here and somehow survived this video, go ahead and click on my picture at the end. It's free, painless, and far easier than trying to park at the harbor on a Saturday. Join me for more exciting How to Be a Tourist videos, coming soon. You won't want to miss the next adventure.